Shalom, Israel. I'm Priest and Officer of 1,000 Ricard Karab, here to present to you the Lord's 56th annual Passover hosted by Commandant General Yahana. You understand, this year, you know where it's going to be at. Oh yeah, TL, you understand, Atlanta, the Black Mecca. Make sure you be there. There's a $200 Passover fee. Make sure you pay that. And that is going to cover you for all exclusive access to all the events, from the lamb slaughter, the black party, the Passover, and many more. That can be paid to isupk.com. Come out and celebrate what your God did for you when he passed over you to destroy your enemies. You understand? This is what Christ celebrated. He didn't celebrate Easter. That's not for us. The Passover. 56th annual Lord's Passover hosted by Commandant General Yahana. It'll be on April the 12th in Atlanta. I say it again, Atlanta. You understand? You can contact us for more information at 706-901-7516, or you can search ISUPK Atlanta under any social media outlet and you'll be able to link to us. Come out and celebrate what your God did for you. You understand? This is for you, Black, Hispanic, and Indigenous people. Shalom.
Shalom. Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai Barakatah to the brothers. Yahweh Shemar Elatah Bahashim Yahushai to the sisters. Priest and Officer 1000 Kasiyat here to invite you to the Lord's 56th annual Passover, hosted by Commanding, celebrating the Lord's 56th annual Passover in the A. Not Black Hollywood, not the Black Mecca. We will be making Atlanta, Jerusalem. That's right. We are going to make Atlanta, Jerusalem. If you are Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, make sure that you are here at the Lord's 56th annual Passover, the only Passover. Shalom.
Shalom, Israel. This is your priest from the East, Dharma of the ISUPK, Universal. Right, inviting all my Black, Latinos, and Native Indian brothers and sisters to come and celebrate the Lord's 56th annual Passover, taking place on April 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. All right, check us out, IPK.com. All right, where you have all your details, everything we're talking about. All right, you're going to find out about the lamb slaughter, the Feast of Unleavened Party. You understand? I'm getting so excited. I'm just tongue-tied talking about all this, trying to share all this good information with my brothers and sisters. All right? I ain't worried about it, because with that, you can have access to all the events. All right? And make sure you're behind the class, you get all your questions answered too when it comes to the Bible. Come on, man. Check us out, ISUPK.com, April 12th, Atlanta, Georgia.
Shalom, Lord Christ. This Officer of 500, Barak Ya'ala, out of the ISUPK. Started out above West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yahana. This is a PSA to all the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. It's going down April the 12th, 2025, here in Atlanta, Georgia, the Lord's Passover. So please, get your family, get your tickets. Everybody 17 years old and up. It's $200 a piece. And you can purchase those at isupk.com and contact the number for more information at 706-901-7516. Once again, it's 706-901-7516. Shalom.
Shalom. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Barakatah to the brothers. Yahweh Shemar Latham Bashem Yahushai to the sisters. This is Priest and Officer Yahweh of the ISUPK Atlanta under Commanding General Yahana. And look, it's that time again, y'all. Passover. Matter of fact, the 56th annual Passover hosted by Commanding General Yahana is going down here in Atlanta, Georgia. It's going down April 12th, 2025. Get your tickets now. You can go to isupk.com to get your tickets. It's only $200, 17 and up. The tickets get you all access to all the events. You can check them out on isupk.com. We got the lamb slaughter. We got the black party, which everybody's going to have a blast at as well. We got the Passover kids party. the Hebrew Academy graduation, and much, much more. Get your tickets while they last. How about Shimmy Al-Shah Barakathum? How Shimmy Al-Thum by Shimmy Al-Shah. Shalom.
Shalom, Israel. The Lord's 56th annual Passover will be April 12th, 2025 in Atlanta, Georgia. You know what I'm talking about? Come out, you know what I'm saying? If you want to serve the Most High in spirit and in truth, you need to be at the Passover. You know what I'm talking about? Atlanta, Georgia. You know what I'm saying? You can get all the details at ashbk.com. You know what I'm saying? You go to ashbk Atlanta. Anywhere say ashbk, you can get this information. You know what I'm saying? We got a camp in your city. We all over the world. We worldwide. You know what I'm talking about? Passover. Don't be in the ATL, Atlanta, Georgia. You know what I'm talking about? April 12th, 2025. Shalom.
Hey, Shalom, Israel. This is Bruce and Officer with Dog, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. You understand? Listen, this year, 2025, the Lord's 56th annual Passover is going down in Atlanta, Georgia this year, man. Did y'all hear what I just said? The Lord's 56th annual Passover is going down in Atlanta, Georgia this year. What that means, man? It means bring you down to the Lord's 56th annual Passover going down in Atlanta, Georgia. That's what it means. We got all kinds of events lined up, man. All kinds of man. Lord's annual Passover, we sit here, another family reunion, man, for all Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians who are scattered throughout all four corners of the earth, coming together under one room as one body, celebrating the Lord's Passover in the absence of our King Yahushua Mashiach, who the world ignorantly known as Jesus Christ. This is a high holy day we are commanded to keep every single year. You understand? Also, Israel, there is a Passover that you dollars. Now I know y'all got $200, man. $200 ain't $200 to get you a pair of shoes. You'll spend that on a pair of Jordans. You'll spend $2 betting on the Eagles and Chiefs Super Bowl. You understand? Fellas, y'all spend $200, take your woman out on a date. You know what I mean? $200 will give you admission to a 5-day event during the week of the Passover that's full of all kinds of activities and surprises we do not want to spoil. Okay? So, for more information, here's the phone number that you want to call. You want to call 706, right? 706-901-7516. And go to www.isupk.com to pay your Passover fee. And with that, I hope to see you there. Shalom.
Shalom, Israel. I'm Police Officer 500, Mara Sarp, ISUPK Atlanta, under Commanding General Yohana. Join us 2025, April 12th, for the Lord's 56th annual Passover, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. $200 will get you in. You know, hey, look, if you can make it to the Super Bowl, you can go and pay Usher thousands of dollars to take a picture with him. You can make it to the Lord's Passover. You know, 17 and up, $200. Below that, you know, hey, look, they free. You know, come enjoy this brotherhood. You Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians, come and join the family. Shalom.
Hey, Shalom, Israel. This is Precinct Officer Mahash Yala out of the ISUPK Atlanta and the Commanding General Yohana. Hey, check this out. The Lord's 56th annual Passover is going down in Atlanta, Georgia, man. Black Hollywood, April 12th, man. It's going down, man. Make sure you're there, man. This is the most exclusive event on earth, man. Only the Lord's chosen people can come to this one, nobody else. Only Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians can join this event. You know, most of y'all out there that already got your income tax check, man. Are you waiting on it? Y'all out there working overtime, 80 hours, man, for your slave master, man. Do something righteous with your money, man. Pay your Passover fee so you can have access to Passover. You know what I'm saying? Get your hotels, man. Bring your family. This is going to be a full week of straight fun. It's not going to be a slow day, man. We get every day something is going down. All the information about Passover is on all social media platforms right now. But if you need any additional information, man, tune into ISUPK Atlanta, tune into ISUPK.com. And with that, I'll say
Shalom, fam. I'm Precinct Officer of 50 Mapalat out of the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana, and I want to invite you, your family, and friends to the biggest, most extravagant black and brown event that y'all can ever experience in life, the Lord's Passover. Yes, the 56th annual Lord's Passover will be here in Atlanta, Georgia under Commanding General Yohana. From April the 9th to the 13th, we have a list of many events, much entertainment, plenty of activity for the kids, man. You know what I mean? Will be going down here in Atlanta, Georgia. Even if you want to come network, you know, get your Black Wall Street on, make sure you show up for that. You know what I mean? If you're from North, South Central America, Haitian descent, Jamaican descent, West Indian descent, man, make sure you're here in Atlanta, Georgia from April the 9th to the 13th. Besides, the Lord said it's a commandment to keep Passover anyway. See you soon. Shalom.
Shalom, Israel. It's Officer Isaiah right here, 1 West, 125th Street. You know, we've always brought people together. You know, we've been bringing people together, thousands of people since 1969. You know, our organization has fed and clothed hundreds and thousands of people. You know what I mean? And right now, we are coming together once again for the Lord's Passover, April 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. And you don't want to miss this. 3353 Glenwood Avenue for the classes. And tune in for the Passover. Shalom.
Shalom, Israel. I'm Priest and Officer Napash Ra'ad out of the ISUPK, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, here to cordially invite all my brothers, all my Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to the Lord's 56th annual Passover. We have events coming from April the 9th all the way to April the 13th, including the lamb slaughter, the kids party, the scripture breakdown, the Hebrew Academy graduation, the all-black party, the brunch for the Passover, the actual Passover. And then we definitely gonna round it all off on that Sunday, April 13th, with the Feast of Unleavened Bread. You are cordially invited. All you got to do is pay your Passover fees, $200 for every adult 17 and older. All kids are free. All these events have food, entertainment, drinks, everything that you could possibly need. We got you covered. You are going to witness the most brotherhood that you have ever seen in your life right here in Atlanta, Georgia for the 56th annual Passover under the Commander General Yohana. I'm looking forward to seeing all my brothers, all my sisters there. I repeat, my Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You are the only ones that have been chosen by the Most High to come to such an event. All right? I'm looking forward to seeing all of you. Shalom.
Shalom, Lord of Christ. This is Priest and Officer 50 Hyatt Call of the ISUPK. Start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. Now, we're born and raised in Atlanta. And I'll tell you right now, there hasn't been a single event that will come close to this Passover coming to you April 12th. If you want to get more information on it, you can contact 706-901-7516. For all Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, this is going to be the place to be. It's a brotherhood celebration and gathering like none other. Come on out, pay your Passover fees. It's a small $200 charge for that. It gets you access to a week full of fun. You got the Black Party, you got the Lamb Slaughter, you got General Muhammad's scripture breakdown class where he will answer all your questions and solve all your problems. You got the Feast of Unleavened Bread, and like I said, the Passover going down April 12th. Come on down here to Atlanta. Let's get right. Shalom, Lord of Christ.
Yo, Shalom, Lord of Christ, Israel. The Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. I'm Priest and Officer Dr. Ron, coming to cordially invite you to the Lord's 56th Passover. It's going to be in Atlanta, Georgia, man. It's the first time it's ever in Atlanta, man. So you might not want to miss it. Come and check us out, man. It's going to start off with the lamb slaughter. It's going to be on Wednesday. After that, we're going to have General Muhammad's scripture breakdown. It's going to be on Thursday. On Friday, we're going to have the big Black Party, man. The Black Party that everybody loves to come to, man. It's going to be a Patriot, man. Come check us out, man. Eastside Eastside activities, man. The Atrium, man. All Black Party, man. We're gonna have Pastor Troy there. We're gonna have China Monet in that more, man. Come check us out, man. After that, we're gonna have the Lord's 56 Passover. It's gonna be on Saturday. And the Feast of Unleavened Bread will follow that, man. Definitely come and check us out. This will be the first time in Atlanta that we're having a Passover, man. So this is some monumental, some real big, some basic activities, man. Come and check us out, man. I'm on Christ.
Israel, the ISP out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. And this year we'd like to invite you out to the Lord's annual 56 Passover. It's going to be here in Atlanta, Georgia, starting April 9th all the way to April 13th. We want to see you there. The admission is $200. So don't even bother celebrating Easter. You're not supposed to be celebrating it anyway. That little money that you was going to spend on that, just put that towards your admission. We want to see you there. For more information, just call area code 706-901-7516. Once again, area code 706-901-7516. Be there. We want to see you. Shalom.
All right, Shalom Israel, like Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. We've been establishing and teaching the truth since 1969 under Commander Junior Hunter. And this is the Monday night history class. And I titled this, I'm gonna have a part 2 to this, about who had the law. You know, a lot of times Christianity teaches, or they butcher the scripture saying that Adam was the first man on the planet. I get into that and the history behind that next week. But I want to go over like things with the law to show and prove that he didn't have Mosaic law, but he did have some form of law. He did have some form of a moral standard and a compass. He wasn't just out here just willy-nilly. He wasn't just out here just like how scientists say, just being a base level man, like you just eat anything, you just get it how you live day to day, whatever you find is whatever you consume. No, they actually made sacrifice. They actually had ways to clean themselves. They actually had like laws that they have to follow. So I'm gonna get into that about Adam. Later on, I'm gonna play a video about what scientists say. You know how Esau do, about how Adam may have looked. So I think that'd be interesting to show y'all today. And then next week we'll get into like the history, or was Adam really the first and only man? Even though the scriptures doesn't support him being the only man, but we're gonna get into like a little bit more history about how to show and prove that he wasn't the only man, how to show and prove that there was men around them. We'll get into where the garden is at today and how we can use the scriptures to find the garden so we can just show that God is true. You know what I'm saying? These records are not a lie. These records ain't just proof or make-believe. We're just going into like a little bit of the scriptures of how the beginning started. We'll get into a little bit about Christ and how in the Sabbath. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Sabbath. And we'll also be talking about who had the laws of God first. All right. So with that, if anybody got any questions, just let me know. We're gonna get into the book of Genesis. We're gonna go to Genesis 1:1. Let's put this. Yeah. Genesis. Let me get that with you. I need to get me a lock. You need to get me a sword. Somebody. Stuff. All right, so we're going to Genesis 1:1. Let me know when you get there. And we're gonna just do a little brief introduction, a brief little checkpoint about the earth being formed. And I didn't want to just jump straight out with about who Adam was without showing you how things was created. And next week I couldn't download the video that I needed to go along with the creation of the earth. I had that for your next class. I'm gonna have a lot more videos, a lot more slides, to start showing the classes and showing the artwork and the records that I found that validate the Bible. All right, are you ready, my Marshall? All right, go ahead.
So the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep.
All right, so for those to later to ask the question about the earth being formed, scientists like to say about the Big Bang theory that say just a big boom and a bunch of gases formulated and it made the earth. The Bible just telling you how it happened. It didn't explain the minutia of things of like what gas was formed together, what rock hit what planet made this. It's just telling you that how it said it was formed, and there was darkness before there was light. With that being said, that's one of the reasons why Hebrews, we always count the evening, then the morning, because that's how Scripture does. They count the night first, and then go to the day. Instead of in Esau's world or today, we count the sun first, and then we count the moon. But that's not how it started with the Most High. All right, keep going.
And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good.
All right, so with that light is like about the core and with the sun as well. The first heat light that you will have like the Earth's core, which in the next week's class or the class after that, I'll get into a little bit more in depth about the creation of the Earth. But this is how scientists just say how things were just formed and created. The Bible wrote this down and said it first. Scientists try to explain how it happened, which again shows and proves that the Bible is correct. No one else has their own creation story about how the earth was formed. Nobody else has it. Scientists have something form what they have now to try to say, well, the Big Bang is always about theories. It's all their hypotheses. So they always want to have a theory about what was created, how it was created, what they think is. They try to test things, different rocks. They got all these different theories about how the earth was created. But the Bible just says he formed the earth without void. Then there was a light. Then you had the light. Then we'll talk about a few more things that they had. All right, keep going.
And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night.
Come on, keep going.
And the evening and the morning were the first day. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters." So
with that firmament, that's just like more of a separation. Scientists today would like to call stuff like the separation between like the earth, then you got the water. It would be like what you call like the ozone layer. It was like mist and things that was around, separated from the earth and the water in the firmament, which would be stuff you look at like the ozone layer. Which again, like I said later on, I'll break that down a little bit more, and I'll try to have the videos downloaded because some of them are a bit lengthy. All right, keep going. Just stop at 7. If we read through 7.
And let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the
firmament,
and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so.
Yeah, that's how can water get above the firmament? Like clouds can get above it, ozone layer, stuff and things in that nature. So that's how waters can get above it. In case people saying, well, they will have no water in the sky. Yeah, rain. So that's all it is. Was there anything left on 6? Was that it? It's like on 7. All right. All right. So with that being said, so that's just a little bit about the creation of the earth. Now that we got that, we're going to drop that We're going to jump ahead to Matthew 5 and 17. Going to the New Testament, and I'm going to get there with you. So there's a few things I wanted to point out to show about Adam. I wanted to show things about with the Sabbath. How long have we been having this age-old battle? How long we have been misled about what the Sabbath is really for, and why and how people butcher these scriptures. It's a lot of times with the Ashkenazi small hats, the Ish man, they'll tell people that they can't have certain type of servile work, to the point where like they think that touching an elevator to go up a building is servile work. Someone think that you can't even turn on a microwave to eat food because it's the Sabbath. So they would rather, well, here's what's crazy about that though. They won't do certain things on the Sabbath. The crazy thing is, if they was to have some type of accident, they will use that 911 to call an ambulance. And they'll want somebody to work on the Sabbath to aid and assist them to help save their life. So I wanted to show a few things about, as we talk about the Sabbath real quick before we get to Adam, to show and prove of the hypocrisy that Christ faced in battle back then, what we face in battle right now, and the times before Christ. All right, so we're going to jump to Matthew chapter 5, verse 17. And let me get there with you. All right, come on, go ahead whenever you're ready.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 17. Think not that I have come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
All right, so here's this is like the breadwinner for Christians to say that I come to fulfill the law. Question I have is, what does it mean to fulfill? You want to give it a shot? To do something like what? Like if I'm coming to fulfill my order that I placed at Kroger's. What did I do? Complete. Okay, he's coming to complete the law. Or he says, "Then I'll come to destroy the prophets, not to destroy them, but to fulfill." So that means the prophets left something incomplete. I got you checking in, sis. All right, so okay. Christians love to say Jesus Christ came to fulfill the law. He came to fulfill the work that the prophets did. What I noticed that when people battling them, they always battle them with another scripture, but no one makes them state right here and define these words. When he says he come to fulfill, or he says think not that I come to destroy, what does it mean to fulfill? I think about like all the battles we've seen, and how many times we've seen Christians and atheists and whoever else will put his scripture to try to justify. Well, not necessarily atheists, but people try to come up against us with these scriptures, but we never really have ever made them define the word fulfill. We preach. The studies show that self-approved. We just look words up. Wouldn't you think that'd be easier? Let's see if we can look it up. Fulfill. You got your phone on you? All right, come on. Yeah, just look up the word fulfill. Would you get the definition? Unless you got a crack at it, sis. What does the word fulfill means? To complete the act. That's kind of, I like that. I take that. Masha said complete. I accept his as well. Give me a little bit more. Okay, so look at the mindset. Like Christ is out here saying, he's teaching and he's waking up the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And people ask him a question. And Christians use it all the time to justify of not being under the law. And they say, Christ didn't come to destroy. They not come to destroy, but I came to fulfill. Christ is to say that fulfill means the law is now complete and we don't need it anymore. So I mean, they'll use that word fulfill to make you believe that the law is complete, which means in their eyes, you can now void the whole law. But when you look up the definition, you'll find the definition. It doesn't necessarily mean always to complete. It does, but it's a process to it, which y'all both are correct, but we need to give a little bit more so that way we can put these Christians in a box, or whoever else will come up against us to use the scriptures to try to justify you not needing to keep the law. Yo, you already got it? It's going slow? Okay, no sweat. There's okay, go ahead.
To fill up, to satisfy, carry out, bring to completion, to emotionally or artistically satisfy, to develop one's gifts to the fullest.
Start off. It was one you said in besides the completion. Reread it over if you could, Baba Kasha.
To fill up.
Keep going.
To satisfy, carry out, bring to completion.
To carry out. So to complete is to you and the sister. When y'all said to complete, that answer is correct. However, when we allow them to, which is part of the definition, but when they say it's correct, it means that they're trying to say that the law is already done and you don't need it. When you look at the totality of the whole definition, it also means to carry out. Meaning like the prophet's work is not done. Remember when Christ left, he says, go out and get the rest of the lost sheep of Israel. It means like he needs this work to be carried out. It's not complete. He says, think not I come to destroy, but to fulfill. I come to complete and carry out the work of the prophets. But when Christ died, he wasn't done. When we all woke up, no, we were still eating pork. We were still scattered amongst all the heathens. We didn't know our identity. We were still strangers and Gentiles. So you and the sister was correct, but I want you to get a little bit more to it. It means to want you to carry out this process. It is not, the work of the Lord is not done. If that's the case, we should already be, as the Christians say, in heaven with the shining pearly gates in a spirit form with wings. So with the work of the Lord in Christ's work is not completed yet. But it means he come to complete the work. It just isn't done yet. So y'all was correct. I want to make sure that I show that so Christians don't find a way to wiggle their way out of this. They don't find a way to say, hey, I no longer need to keep the law. It's completed now. Now you have to still keep the law, and you can't run from the law, and the law isn't done away with. So I just want to make sure I bring that part out, because also we'll see that in these scriptures that when it comes to dealing with the Sabbath, Christ still had to battle other people about dealing with the Sabbath, as in what you could and could not eat, things in that nature. All right, so we're going to drop that, and let's get into a little bit about Adam real quick. Let's go to Khan. I got you checking in on Mawad. Let's go to Genesis 4:1. We'll jump back to Genesis. All right, when you got it, go ahead. Genesis 4:1.
Genesis 4:1. And Adam knew Eve, his wife.
All right, so yeah, I'm saying it's already explaining now. Well, some would say that Adam was the first man on the planet, and out of his real poof, here comes Eve. So now we're showing that he did have a wife. All right, keep going.
And she convinced and bare Cain.
It's like conceive.
And she conceived and bare Cain.
All right, so she had her first son. And so he knew his wife, the man he made her his wife. And they did the baby making activities, and she got pregnant. So many months later, 9, who knows? exactly 9 months to the exact. Who knows? She conceived, had a baby. She had Cain. All right, keep going.
And said, I have gotten a man from the Lord.
She gotten a what?
I have gotten a man from the Lord.
Now, right there, she said she gotten a man from the Lord. What does that mean? Eve said she got pregnant, had her first son, Cain, and now she's saying she's gotten a good man from the Lord. What does that mean? Anybody in chat want to take a guess? All right, Eve says to Eve had a son, which is her first son, which was Cain, and she said in the middle of verse 4, I have gotten a man from the Lord. Saying, man, I got this from the Lord. If she's saying she got it from the Lord, in reality, what does that really mean? I'll give y'all a few seconds if y'all think I'm gonna give it a shot. You want to give it a shot, or you don't know? You don't know? All right, so a blessing. Okay, Con, that's good. That can be considered a blessing, Con. So I agree with that. But okay, let's try to stay in the topic of the class. It says, who had the laws of God first? If someone's thanking the Lord and they acknowledge that they have a Lord or a God, that means it has to come with rules. If not, why would you thank them? Y'all see where I'm going with this? So she already knew that she's gotten a good man from the Lord, which means that they had to have some type of understanding, some type of things they have to live by, some do's and don'ts. Because even if you don't believe in God, anybody that follow any other deity or any other form of organized or unorganized religion, there's still do's and don'ts. There's still requirements. There's still, hey, this is what I want you to do. This is the things you cannot do. This is how you're going to serve them. So every deity out there, so to speak, every fake philosophy still have do's and don'ts. What I'm pointing out is that Christians tend to believe that only Moses had the law, and when Moses died, that was it. I'm showing that Adam might not have the Mosaic law, but he had some laws of God, and the laws of God started with Adam. All right, so we're going to use these scriptures to show and prove, and we're also going to use it with another man in the Bible who's not Moses and who's not Adam. All right, so I just finished reading that on verse 4 and 1.
And she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep.
All right, so she said she buried his brother Abel, so she got pregnant again, had another son, which is Abel. And then they're telling about who Abel was. He was a keeper of sheep, so he tended to the flock. So he tended to the sheep, the animals. Keep going.
But Cain was a tiller of the ground.
He the ones that like to deal, like the vegetables. He liked to plant things. All right. Keep going.
In the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord.
A what?
An offering unto the Lord.
How do we give offerings today? No, reason why we give offerings today, because it's a law. It's a requirement that we have to do. If they did not have the law, why would Cain give an offering to God, to the Most High? If Moses was the one who had the law first, why would Cain give an offering to the Most High? Which he was taught to do that by his parents. Because it started off saying his mother said, I got a good man from the Lord. So these are like the questions that he answers when we're having these type of discussions with Christians or Baptists or Muslims or anybody who got a question or anybody who come up against us with these type of questions, or have their own mind set up trying to teach the Bible or teach the scriptures. Here's what we have to start asking. If Moses was the only man who had the laws of God, why is Cain making an offering to the Most High when Cain predates Moses and Noah, which we'll get into that in just a second. All right. Keep going on that.
And in process, and Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering.
So Cain had tilled to the ground. He had fruits and vegetables, and he gave the Lord what he decided to pick out. It was like, oh, well, this one's very nice and ripe. I'm gonna keep this one for myself. This one's okay. I get them to the Lord. While Abel was like, I'm gonna give you the first and I'm gonna give you the best of my flock. I'm gonna give you this offering. Right there, by them giving the offering, shows that they had some type of law to even give to the Most High. So he gave him his first offering. That's what Cain and Abel did. They both gave an offering. And since Abel gave him the best of what he had, the Lord respected him. All right. Any more on that? Keep going. Give me read verse 5.
But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect, and Cain was very wroth, and his
Continence.
countenance fell.
So let me tell you something. Cain got very angry with his brother. That spirit that Cain has, so does our oppressors have. So does Mr. and Mrs. Dwight, man, woman, and child. Now, I'm not saying that Cain is Mr. and Mr. Dwight. No, but what I'm saying is the spirit that our oppressor have, that's the same spirit that Cain has. And I'm just keeping a buck with y'all. Some of my brothers in Israel, our brothers not in UPK, but like just our kinsmen, you know, different tribes or the same tribe. Some of them had that same evil spirit. Some of y'all can battle that spirit. Some Muslims have that same evil spirit. Some Moabs have some of the same evil spirit. You know, all types of heathens have that same evil spirit. But predominantly, that spirit that Cain has, that is the spirit that belongs to the race of Edom, the Caucasian race. You know what I'm saying? They predominantly have that spirit. They have that vibe. So I just want to just be transparent to show, like, it's not always our oppressors who are the main evil ones, but they're number one. You know, for their perpetual hatred towards us. When we had that type of spirit, it's mostly taught to us to look at our brothers with an evil eye. You know what I'm saying? Trying to gain our oppressors' riches. But that spirit that Cain has, that's the spirit of our oppressors today. So y'all just keep that in mind, that Cain is not he's not the Caucasian race. He's not that. You know what I'm saying? That he predates the Caucasian race. He predates Esau. But Esau's bloodline, Esau's lineage has Cain's spirit. And that's what I just wanted to point out. So that right there, by showing y'all that they made offerings, show and proves that Cain, Adam and Eve had the law. Cain and Abel had the law. They knew what sacrifice to make. Well, they knew to make sacrifice to make the Lord happy, to keep the Lord pleased. But if they had the law, that means that God, it means it wasn't just Moses. That's what I'm trying to say, Salakia. Salakia, we're going to drop that. Let's go over just 3 chapters ago to Genesis 7:1. Salakia, Genesis 7:1. And I'm going to get there with you. All right, come on, go ahead. Whenever you got it, go ahead.
Genesis chapter 7, verse 1. And the Lord said unto Noah, Come thou and all thy house into the ark, for thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation. Of every clean beast.
Of what? Every what?
Of every clean beast.
So how we know what's clean and what's not clean? So the only way to know something is clean or unclean, you have to have the what? God. What you thought gonna say something else? No, you gotta have the law. So this right here is showing you that it wasn't Moses. It wasn't now the laws that Noah had and the laws that Adam and Eve and Cain and Abel had. It was not the Mosaic law. They did not have that, but they did have some form of the law, as in some of the bare minimum or certain basics of like make an offering to the Most High. Here's a clean beast. Here's a clean beast. Here's an unclean beast. All right, kind of keep going.
Of every clean beast thou shalt take to thee by sevens, the male and his female, and of beasts that are not clean by two, the male and his female.
All right, so that right there is showing you that even Noah, now this is after Adam, which is still predates Moses, Salakia. But they still knew to keep the law. They still knew some form of the law. Or just this right here just goes to show you that they were not Israelites, but they did have God's blessings. They didn't have knew of God's laws. You know, so before he made the covenant with the children of the Most High, before he made a covenant with us, well, for Abraham, Isaac and Jacob, started with before Abraham, which was with Noah, and before him, which was Adam. You had some of the basics to life. You had some of the basics living tools. You had some of the basics living. How can I say this? Essentials to life. It was not just people who just see a caterpillar crawling around and you just take it and you eat it, see if it tastes good. It wasn't just people who would just see leaves or something green like plants and you just eat it and you don't know if it's poison ivy or not. We wasn't those type of people. It was just very base and low. Even though at that time, the time of Adam before he was rose up, that's how people lived. They were very base, just low level. They just eat anything. You mess anywhere. Or use the bathroom anywhere. You didn't cover up really. Whatever you wanted to eat, whenever you wanted to use the restroom, you just eat it. You got it how you live. But with them, they had rules. They knew how to separate themselves. They knew how to take care of themselves properly. So Cain and Abel, Adam and Eve knew of the Lord. They made offerings. That's law. Noah knew every clean and unclean business. That's law. Constance, you got it. That is law. So Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel had the law. Noah had the law. So let's get into a little bit about some other laws about Sabbaths. All right. Let's go to the book of Leviticus 23 and 24. And next week, I promise I'm gonna have Lord allow, I'm gonna have these videos up and ready. Just of like some of the outlandish things that the Ashkenazi says and some of the things that they would require of you to do, but not themselves. Like I said, at the end of this class, or close to the end of the class, I have a video of what scientists say how Adam looked. And keep in mind, it is the white man, so bear with it. You understand? But I figured this video would be interesting to show because it's Adam. He had the law first. At least is what we're going to find out with this class. All right, let's get Leviticus 23. Let me get that with you. Leviticus 23 and 24. That's a lot. I'm trying to get that with you. All right. Go ahead whenever you got it.
Leviticus chapter 23, verse 24. Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, the 7th month, in the first day of the month, shall ye have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing of trumpets, and holy convocation.
So like, all right, go down. Give me, so like, do 25. So like,
Ye shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire to the Lord.
Okay, you end it right there. I wanted to get just a regular Sabbath day. But point is about the servile work. I got some videos I'm trying to bring out, next week class, so y'all can like. It's been times where like the men in the UPK, like we spoke about what the Ashkenazi does, how the fake Hebrews, you know what I'm saying, the Ishman, how he will tell y'all how they say these things about, they want someone else to flick the like for them and want someone else to cook for them and want someone else to hit the elevator button. There's videos of them doing it. It's not just us saying it and bringing it out to you that way. There's actually videos of them saying how they really believe in their version of the Sabbath service, how they can't do no servile work, to the point where like they believe that hitting the elevator button is servile work, to the point where they believe that some of them don't even really want to drive a car. So if that's the case and they are the Jews of the Bible, if it says you can't do no servile work, why would you have someone else do your servile work? Wouldn't it still be you violating the law? So these are questions that need answers from them. In UPK, we have the answers. We have the truth. But I just want to go in and show you that once certain things are set up, what Christ had to battle, the prophets today has to battle. And we're still waiting on the work of Christ to be fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to show you that real quick about the offering. That's in Leviticus. That's law. I brought out earlier that in Adam and Eve, they made offerings. So they had some form of law. They just didn't have the Mosaic law. But they still knew enough to make offerings. They still knew enough to what was clean to eat, what was unclean. Because amongst the base level people, Cain and Adam and Eve, they were not base. So they were separated. There was a class above. All right. So let me get, let's go to Exodus 35:3. And I'm going to get there with you. As a matter of fact, start at 35:2. Start at 2.
Exodus chapter 35, verse 2. 6 days shall work be done. On the seventh day there shall be to you a holy day, the Sabbath of rest to the Lord. Whosoever doeth work therein shall be put to death.
So let me tell you something. So the Ashkenazi and other people, fake Israelites or unlearned individuals who read our records, they'll tell you that you can't even start a fire. That's crazy, right? They'll tell you that no, you can't start a fire to eat your food hot. That's servile work to them. Here's the question that I would ask. Could you imagine in today's time when we got these records, right? Could you imagine you living up in like on the East Coast or up north in the winter? Are you supposed to freeze it up every Sabbath, or some people call it every Saturday? What you think, Marshall? Should they like just freeze it up every Saturday, every Friday to Saturday, or should they turn on like the heat? But that's breaking the Sabbath, right? Won't they get put to death, as the scripture says? Or should they get put to death like the scripture says? That's a good question, right? Yeah, so that's something we can ask the Ashkenazi. That's something we can ask them based on what these records says on this particular scripture, since they believe that kindling a fire is servile work. Since they believe that you starting a fire or you cooking food is servile work, not knowing that some things isn't servile, as in like servile is short for servant, meaning like the work you have to do, meaning like a job. Like, it's not my job to go, I don't work for Jimmy John's and making cold cuts. It's not my job, but I can make me a cold cut. You get what I'm saying? So something like that, or I do the opposite. Let's say you're in the West Coast and it's 108 degrees outside. Should you not turn on the air conditioner to cool off? Like, far too many times people take our records and they butcher the scriptures and they make it seem as if they are right, and they make it seem the Bible look like it's spooky or it's contradicting. Our records are not contradicting. People who try to read our records are just unlearned. All right, what verse did you stop at? Did you stopped at 3? All right, come on. All right. Yeah, just read 3 if you could, Bobby Kashaw.
You shall kindle no fire throughout your
Habitations.
your habitations upon the Sabbath day.
So that means like you can't start a fire. So that's why they get the whole you can't warm up your turkey sandwich on the Sabbath, which would be Friday night, Saturday daytime. You understand? So we could just what? Just can't eat everything cold. You can't have no you can't hit that microwave button. You can't hit that boop 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 2 minutes hit start. You can't have no popcorn. You can't have no popcorn on Friday night while you're watching a movie. See, unlearned individuals take these records and they take it to fool the masses. They take it to fool everyone. They take it to show or make it seem like we don't know what we're talking about. We don't have the law. We are just spooky individuals. Like they took our records and made this nonsense up. However, they would not accept the work of a doctor on the Sabbath. Or they want that doctor to go to work. They want that nurse to go to work. They won't, when you call 911, for them to come out to aid and assist you, whether you need a paramedics or someone just broke in your home. When it talks about service work, it's for like servants. And if you are a person who has like a business, you should not make them work on the Sabbath. You understand? Like if you got a slavery and they're making you work, or if you don't work, your lights are going to get cut off. Then you need to not get your lights cut off. You need to make sure your lights stay on. So there's a difference with those who want to work the Sabbath just to get some extra money so they can buy some Jordans, or just to have some money just to go play with. You know, they want to just to have some extra spending money. You can't do that. That's a big no. If you're working the Sabbath because you need the money to keep the lights on in the building, or you're working the Sabbath because your job is making you work like mandatory, then that's different. That's not on you. That's on either the situation of our oppressor because they make life so hard, or your slavery because they're making you come in on the Sabbath. All right. So I just want to show that this is what Christ had to deal with. You understand? Like we always have to battle people about the Sabbath. And I'm going to show y'all what Christ had to deal with right now. We're going to drop that. Let's go to Mark chapter 2, verse 25. Head to the New Testament. All right, Mark 2 and 25. As a matter of fact, start at 23. Mark 2 and 23. So we get the proper context.
Mark chapter 2, verse 23.
Yeah, come.
Verse 23. And it came to pass that he went through the cornfields on the seventh day, and his disciples began, as they went, to pluck the ears of corn.
All right, they on the Sabbath, so they're eating. You know, they hungry. You know, I don't know if y'all knew. When it comes to certain vegetables, like with corn, there's a point where corn it can get so ripe, you can eat it without having to cook it. It's only a short period of time. And if you pluck it right at the right time when it's ripe, you can just eat it, pull off the ears of it, and then just eat the corn as is. That could get so ripe. Then after that, after that, they have to always cook it. There's a point with corn, you can actually, when it gets so right, you just eat it as is. It's soft enough for you to just consume. If not, you have to cook it, boil it, or and now our times, grill it or whatever. All right, keep going.
And the Pharisees said unto him, Behold, why do they on the Sabbath day that which is not lawful?
So they thinking that they think they must be tillers of the ground, like you out there in your field, tending to your field. No, they are hungry. They went out to get something to eat. All right, keep going.
And he said unto them, Have ye never read what David did when he had need, and he was in hunger,
Hungry.
he was in hunger, he and they that were with him.
So he's referring to when David was hungry and he needed something to eat. Well, he about to explain it right now. Just keep going.
How he went into the house of God in the days of
Let me see. Abiathar Khan.
Abiathar, the high priest, and did eat the shewbread,
Khan.
which was not lawful to eat, but for the priest, and gave also to them who were with him.
So Christ is asking him a question like, remember what David did? He went in, he was hungry, and he went into the temple where the high priest was at. The showbread was on him for the priest, but David ate it. Was it on for him to eat it? I mean, like, the man's about to starve. Should he just not eat? Or should he not? Or what should he do? All right, come on, keep going.
And he said unto them, The Sabbath was made for man, and not man for the Sabbath.
Man, he said, man, the Sabbath was made for you to rest and relax. It was made for you to relax. So yes, you can eat on the Sabbath. You can go eat, get you some corn and make you some food because it's your day of rest. I know in the UPK, when we get to these Sabbath days, we do the work of the Lord. Our days of rest is usually like Sundays. We doing the work of the Lord over here. Work don't stop. But the Sabbath was made for man. Like, it's time for you to rest. You understand? So it's not for you to serve the Sabbath, which the Ashkenazi does so much. He does that and he bushes it so much. The Sabbath was made for you to finally get you some rest. And these are some of the things that came with the Mosaic laws. These are the things that Christ had to battle with. Now, in Scripture, it didn't state how much Adam knew about the Sabbath in that regard, but it did say they made offerings. So he did know that you could make an offering to the Most High. So that's the part I just want to keep pointing out, that some of these laws, offerings, and Sabbaths, some of them Adam kept. All right, he just didn't have the Mosaic law. Okay, I'm gonna drop that, and I'm gonna try to show this video. Yeah, so, this is what. Was there any more left on 28? Okay, that was it on that. All right, that's it on that. So water. Let me see if I got some more videos up here to play. Bear with me one moment. Oh man, I don't want to do it like that. I'm gonna have to play this one. Go to share my screen. So while I cue this up, let me go over something else. So I cue up this video. For those of y'all who's watching or just tuning in, real quick, type in the chat. I'm about to play a video. I'm about to load it up. And scientists is loading up how they think Adam looked. Now, they don't have any skulls, but what they did was they tried to take pigmentation off every person, and they're trying to backtrack it through some process of theirs to try to determine where everyone hue or pigmentation comes from. They also decided to try to track the garden down and look at the people that's still in their region today and to try to determine what Adam looks like. So I just figured I'd show this little interesting video. It's not long at all, but it does have, I'm how to skip through some of the nastiness of the beginning of those videos, because like I said, Esau is the devil. He is a deviant. You know what I'm saying? It is, in my eyes, graphic. So I was trying to not show all this. I was trying to skip past a lot of it. All right, Khan, I got you. I got you checking in, Nakasha. So here's what we got. Let's try to play this now. Let's go to present. Let's go share my screen. Oh, hit share. Hold up. All right, got to add me to it. All right, so I got this video. Hang on, I gave it away.
Jefferson may look European, but
okay. So by the National Geographic reveals the true Adam. They're about to show you in a nutshell, very briefly, their process of how they try to determine how Adam looked. Now, we all know that through a lot of old white scientists, their scientists mostly based on racism. So they say somebody was deformed, it was because he was black and he isn't white. It was never based on, look at the structure of this skull, look at this DNA, look at, like regions where he stay, why their skin is like this, or why he's so massive in size, or look at the sun, how the sun burns to this area versus the sun don't burn in this area. It was never things broken down in that nature. It always was, let me make myself bigger. Yeah, it was always with scientists back then, it was always just based on black people are inferior, white people are superior. And they never, ever wanted to show the true. They never wanted to use science truthfully. It was always misguided or modified in a way to push their own agenda. So I wanted to make sure I bring that out and to show y'all that science today isn't what scientists really used to be. It's always been how can we make more money? How can we prove that they are inferior? Because they'll tell you that our nose being big is a deformity. It's deformed. Our hair being curled or crinkled, or not crinkled. Our hair being, nappy and rough is because we're deformed. So some of it can be dishonest or misleading, but I figured this right here is showing you they're trying to be a little bit transparent with this version of science. So I'm just going to play this real quick. I'm going to make myself small. All right, let's go ahead and play. Now, I might stop it and talk every now and then, but I'm just hit play first.
But his Y chromosome tells a different story. It shows that what we look like may not really tell us where we come from.
All right, so right there, just if y'all, I don't know if y'all can hear me, put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear this sound coming through clear. It's kind of hard to hear on my end or where I'm at. I just want to make sure y'all can hear it. Okay, I'm gonna rewind this video real quick. But what they're going to say is how they determine, how they try to find how Adam really looked by tracking down the water for that troop, Nakasha. They're going to tell you how they try to determine how they found or track down who the real Adam is. The water. All right. So they can't hear. So let me just mute up and be quiet. I'm gonna start off Salakia. Like I said, bear with me. Never mind the nastiness. I'm gonna try to skip past it when it comes
Jefferson may
up.
look European, but his Y chromosome tells a different story. It shows that what we look like may not really tell us where we come from. And it raises a question mark over the traditional image of a French artist him like this, like a European. For many of us, this is Adam, Michelangelo's famous painting in the Vatican Sistine Chapel. He looks like a beautiful Italian.
So like I have a mic muted. In what real world did anybody would think that he's the first man on planet Earth when they are the least? They are the least as far as race. They are the least as far as population. No one would ever think realistically that he was the first man. No one believes that nonsense. But like I said, Salaki, I couldn't get to it fast enough to block out the nastiness, but I just had to stop it and pause there real quick. Nobody in their right mind would think that he was the first man.
Michelangelo's famous painting in the Vatican Sistine Chapel. He looks like a beautiful Italian who spends a lot of time in the gym. Did the common ancestor of all men really look like this? The story of Jefferson suggests he could have looked very different. Finally, Wells comes face to face with the man he's been searching for. A new portrait of the common ancestor of every man today. Adam.
They got a black Adam, y'all. Don't look that bad.
Without the skull, we can't know for sure what Adam looked like. But a combination of genetic evidence, Bender's forensic skills, and cutting-edge computer software suggest he looked something like this. Thousands of years after the Bible, and hundreds of years after Michelangelo, we have a whole new face for Adam.
I like the expression. He's got a very forceful look.
He's intent on something, maybe taking over the world. You begin to get perhaps an insight into why these guys won out and why this guy's our ancestor.
Hold on, I'm gonna wind that just a touch. That's cool. I'm gonna make myself back big time. Yeah, look at that image. Esau trying to do something right. They finally got a black one. Notice how he said he looks like he's trying to take over the world. Adam would have had he not listened to his wife, who ought to have been Adamites or something. But yeah, this is the version that I'm trying to track back through all the Y chromosomes and going back so many times in history. At least he was transparent, saying that, without the skull, it's kind of hard to determine what he would look like. At least they know enough to say that we know he isn't pale skin. He isn't white skin. So he got some hue, he had some pigmentation. And look, they even gave him a beard, y'all. I mean, they had to be watching some UPK videos, some of them Hebrew videos about Adam being a black man. A man with color, a man with hue, a lot of pigmentation, a lot of melanin. But this is something that our persons for so long has been using their version of science to fool the whole entire earth. They'll use their version of science or just a flat out lie to say that, hey, Christ looked like Patrick Swayze. Christ is blonde hair, blue eyes, or whatever. Straight blonde hair and blue eyes. Scripture says he had hair of wool and it was white, and eyes was red and flame of fire, dark skin, burnt in the furnace. This right here, Yeah, right there. Yeah. Yeah, that right there. Now, I've never drawn any or even thought of any image of Adam. I've seen people have an image of something close to being of Moses and Paul and the prophets of old in the Russian icons book, but I myself never really paid any attention to it of Adam or heard anybody even trying to draw Adam. But it's interesting that they're now going to go with this look to say that this was the first man versus that old. I gotta watch my words. That soft individual who wanted to touch God's finger for a damn leaf wrapped around his waist. That just doesn't look masculine in any form. You know what I'm saying? So that's something I wanted to bring out. That's something I wanted to show. Again, if y'all got any questions, just type it in the chat. Next week, I'm gonna go into a little bit more history about Adam not being the first and only on the planet. I'm gonna go into the rivers of that was in the Garden of Eden, and where those rivers at today, and where the land looks like, or what the land used to look like. A lot of people look at Israel and say that it's a small piece of land. No, they changed the borders. Israel used to be all of the so-called Middle East. We had all of that. All of that was once Israel and had the Garden of Eden. So from the Euphrates River to these other different rivers, we'll get into that next week. I'm gonna try to have some more videos. I couldn't download all the videos that I wanted to today, but next class I should have those videos up, and I'll show you these videos, and we'll go to about Adam not being the first on the planet. We already just vaguely went into how he did have the law. So Adam did have the law, so he was not without the law. Adam was the first to have the law. Adam was the first to serve God. You understand? According to our records. All right, with that, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to end this class. I'm going to play the promotional video. If y'all don't know, now you know. We'll be celebrating the Lord's 56th annual Passover. Now, the Passover is April 12th, but for the week event, it is April 9th through the 13th. We will be in Atlanta, Georgia. You understand? So if you can't get there or at least on the April 12th. You definitely be there for April 12th. You don't want to miss this out. Can't wait to get down to Atlanta. It's very close from where I reside at. Well, not that close, but I can make that drive. You understand? But be there for this Passover. Make sure you pay your tithes. Make sure you pay your Passover fee. I know that that's what I'm saying. That Passover demon, don't fall for it. Work, grind, get here. Take advantage of whatever you can take advantage of. Meaning, like, hey, tell them you gotta use your PTO. Take some sick days. Whatever you gotta do to get here to this Passover, and make sure you make that pilgrimage to get there. All right. With that, I'm gonna get ready to end this class. I'm gonna end it with the promotional video. But before I do, that's a lock here. I don't know why I did that. Why is it doing that? Man, bear with me. All right, I don't know why it does that. Anyways, it's acting like an idiot.
Shalom, Israel.
All right, so I'm gonna end it with the promotional video. Make sure you pay your tithes. Make sure you pay your Passover fee. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna end it with a song. I want to play one more video, if y'all could, Baba Kasha. Before I end this class, I'm gonna end it with some Nakawan. Bear with me 1 second. I get this up here. Add this to the queue. Let me play this real quick. All right, there we go.
Then I got a problem. I'm never gonna miss you. I got 100 hanging out the AR. I got a 50 hanging out the pistol. He say it's corner, I'm just being realistic. So y'all be on them corner posted with the realest. If it's the Sabbath, then we going fishing. I'm reeling them in. That's a good and I'm real good. I get this mission. Academy graduate. I'm a bitch, glad to be. Anything move like that, man. Just know I'm a promise. She got to be listening. Respect, I ain't having that shit. Tell her go make some business from scratch. She bitching the different breed of black men. We don't do the bad thing. I remember back when I was really trapping, trying to get the racks in, selling dope to black men. But now I'm trying to make it straight. Like, don't forget about my face. We standing up straight, can't fold us. Too heavy, the world won't hold us. Look, this was a rank, I told you. Line up in the ranks, we sold you. Get into the bank, we focus on. How many times must we remind you? One body, one way, some rank. I will never take up the flex. When the law with your ain't no up next. It's just nigga does that on that. All that shit. That ain't no threat. Say you won't beat bitch with that ain't no sweat. We with all that. We with all that. The Lord called a nigga out the world. I responded and called back. Oh Lord. And everything that they stole from us, fuck the shit. We want all that. Them niggas snitching and they act like bitches. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They killing women and they fuck with sisters. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They telling lies, switching up the dice. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They ain't gon' ride until they die. So that's why we unaffiliated with them. Come on. The commanding general, your honor, we unaffiliated with them. Like they tongue and they say they keep that shit 100, we unaffiliated with them. They telling lies, switching up the doctrine, that's why we unaffiliated with them. Alright, today, so that's why we unaffiliated with them. I fuck around with them, we taking ground when we in your city. You better have the women, have the liquor. Keep that bitch on me, please don't but the same. Don't be a fool and be another victim. Say you a goon, you just another Christian. How you my brother, you ain't in here with me. In the gutter, deep down in the trenches. We with them niggas locked up in the prison. Fucking Hispanic, Native American, Indian, we ain't just talking shit. But we living in it, we be everywhere, you can't miss it. And we be fresh as hell, take a picture. And we special now with the scriptures. Play, we gon' script them, yeah, we some killers. These niggas tripping, they mind blown. Well, business, forgive me if I'm wrong. I don't need it pause when niggas say that they be looking for niggas to slide on. The slide that I know about is when I send with the gun with the slide for real. I get the harder, you know that it's slaughter. See me and my niggas gon' die for kill. The bigger the better for kingdom of heaven. You niggas get wet up by niggas, I'm fed up by rep UPK. My niggas won't let up, got choppers, got nines, AKs, Berettas. You say you don't like me, you say you won't fight with me and my nigga like bitch and whatever. You say you don't like me, you say you won't fight with me and my nigga like them niggas snitching and they act like bitches. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They killing women and they fuck with sisters. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They telling lies, switching up the doctrine. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They ain't gon' ride until they die, so that's why we unaffiliated with them. Come on, the commanding general, your honor, we unaffiliated with them. Like they tongue and they say they keep that shit 100, we unaffiliated with them. They telling lies, switching up the doctrine. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They ain't gon' ride until they die, so that's why we unaffiliated with them. Yeah. See, they always ask us like, why y'all fuck with such and such? Why y'all won't come together with such and such? I be like, we unaffiliated with them. Understand me? Like, niggas be out here on some weirdo shit.
Bust the head.
ODing on the beat, Narcan flow. We outside. We outside with it. That temperature's getting hot, we take it outside. You run your mouth up in this club, we take it outside. I got my killers with me, you won't make it outside. Outside, cause we outside. Before the COVID had the mask and we was outside. The Glock loaded, extra mag and it's outside. There's one west for that bag and we outside. We outside. I got the world in the palm of my hand. One West sleeve stretch, do it live on the gram. Had a whole world viewing. Click and subscribe. Had them niggas off the block, tell them shooters they want a job. I just put them on the payroll. When I get control them, I just mold them like they Play-Doh. Soldiers giving Halo, trying to get up at them pesos. 40 cows send you out of space, Jeff Bezos. And Jeff Bezos, leave you all boxed up. All cause my delivery, I be on that prime shit. Take you time to get with me. Got me like Vladimir. Treat you like the Ukraine. Raid your little city, now you voting like Usain. Scope calls
more than a rifle. I got new aim, fresh kick, spit lick, not my shoe game. Used to have a dirty 30 tied to a shoestring. Now I got the Ruger 5 and 7, that's my boot thing. That temperature's getting hot, we take it outside. You run your mouth up in this door, we take it outside. I got my killers with me, you won't make it outside. Outside, cause we outside. Before the COVID had the mess and we was outside. That Glock loaded, extra mag and it's outside. There's one west for that bag and we outside. We outside. That temperature's getting hot, we take it outside. You run your mouth up in this door, we take it outside. I got my killers with me, you won't make it outside. Outside, cause we outside. Before the COVID had the mess and we was outside. That Glock loaded, extra mag and it's outside. There's one west for that bag and we outside. We outside. I don't talk hardly, be there when you call me. Send them Philly clippers at your head like a Baldy. Chopper get to run down your block like a Harley. No, this ain't a big hog, this the big dog.
In your city, swinging through the jungle like it's pitfall. In the water wading, marching to my cadence. Big burst of thunder in my hands like I'm reading. Shitty Mortal Kombat sounds, but I ain't playing.
Look 'em in the eye before the war like a weigh-in. I'm up in the AM, politicking movements with that Draco from the vid because it's proven. Waiting on my brother out of bed, he ain't do shit. That's how life go. Win some, you lose. Seen a little nigga beat a big nigga out his shoes. Seen that nigga come back, pull up with a gun strap, rob everybody outside, told him run that. We outside. That temperature's getting hot, we take it outside. You run your mouth up in this door, we take it outside. I got my killers with me, you won't make it outside. Outside, yeah, we outside. Before the COVID had the mess and we was outside. My Glock loaded, extra mag and it's outside. It's one west for that bag and we outside. Outside, yeah, we outside. That temperature's getting hot, we take it outside. You run your mouth up in this door, we take it outside. I got my killers with me, you won't make it outside. We outside, and we outside. Outside, yeah, we outside. We outside, yeah, we outside. It's one west on them corners and we outside.
All right, this is Brutus Speaks, man. We got Captain Tywar in the building. Yeah, so, man, let us know where you from.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all having me, man, on Brutus Speaks, man. I'm ready down right quick,
Don't forget it. One west in my brain, one west in my heart, one west when I finish, one west when I start. Big shine, big glow. I be gone till November, let my bitch know. I'm back by the winter, bubbling like Crisco. I need my pockets all swollen like a lymph node, talking out the side of your neck, get you a slit throat. I stay broke, don't care if I got $1 million. Looking down on me, I put your brains on the ceiling. Fuck kicking down the door, we bout to demo the building. These fake tats all in these groups, I wonder who ya. Shoot ya off your pulpit, hallelujah. 4-pound gun young and down like it's a cougar. On my feet, combat boots or is it Puma? Words spreading around about me, none of it rumor. All truth, very big facts, very large caliber on very small cats. Compact pistols, ladders, and all that. About to throw the switch in the Nina for rapid fire. Got the 5.7 equipped with the magnifier. Boom shakalaka equipped with the rim rocker. We ain't really got beef, yeah, Ramak with a bin shot ya. The best rhymer, since Pac and Big Papa. Big llama, big juice, I'm Big Jamba. Quarter tank of gas, I ride like a big timer. No informer, no sweat, not inside of my conglomerate. Wreck like King Tonga. No Asian pun, no to our pain, I'ma stay over the block and make diamonds. Stay true, kept shit pure, my name honored. Pay off in debt and kept promise. Make sure you show respect. Pay homage that I'm one West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood. Don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart, one West when I'm finished, one West when I start. I said I've been one West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood. Don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart, one West when I'm finished, one West when I start. I'm the hottest on the market, don't make me start it. I'ma pull up in a Spider-Man and Peter Parker. I remember days was trapping out the apartment. Now one West ball put me up in a starship. About to fight the friendly skies in this bitch. Spit the truth on the corners, I lie a little bit. I'ma stand up, nigga, I die before I switch. Down, no, we up, I'm cool with who I with. I'ma be war the king and stay dangerous. Hold down the biz and fam, remain blameless. Now rappers drippy with styles we made famous. First with studs and spikes in any city. Designing charge a stack for shit that can't fit me. Had fringes on my coattail way before Jimmy.
Funny how the general ain't even see a penny. Better show respect, get smoked like a chimney. Keep my name out your mouth, don't even think it. Send a real Smith, hey, y'all know Jada Pinkett. Both ball heads, my brain a $1.50. Lost my man to the game, that pain that stuck with me. Had to find a cheat code to the street though, cause the niggas getting foul, shoot you like a free throw. Keep spitting acid like Amino, and a nigga be the nicest with a mean flow. Try to ride my wave, you gon' need a speedboat. I'm hot like 100 degrees in a peacoat. Scarf in the sweater, I embark every letter. It's UPK, not a part, but together. Homie, I've been one West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West when I start. One West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West.
When it came time to take things to the next level, I knew that I had to make a website, and Wix was perfect for that. I'm Josh Harmon. I'm a musician, I'm a content creator, and I'm a sound effects artist. I wanted to create videos as universal as possible that had no language in them so that anyone could enjoy them, and that was how I came up with the idea to do sound effects. I took our tunes and I used my drum set and the instruments, and I recreated all the sound effects to the scene where they're cooking up some soup. From the moment I uploaded this video, I just feel that something was a little bit different. It was insane. I was 25 million views on Instagram. I really didn't know what to do. And it was my grandma. She just turned 99. She said, "You've got a good idea. Now's the time to focus and just keep doing it." Now I have over 20 million followers across my social media channels, and each of my videos gets millions of views. As my brand continues to grow,